Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Unscripted and Unchoreographed. I'm your host, Neve, and we have my lovely co-host, Sarah, and today we are very excited to have Amy O'Donnell, a producer! Woo!
Hello, girls. Thanks for having me.
Amy, how did you get into the arts?
I've always loved it. I know that's probably what a lot of people say, but I have from day dot. I did speech and drama growing up. I did scoring and ogue. My mother was hugely involved in the local Amdram. So me and my brother would be up there a lot of weekends at rehearsals. And my aunt is Marie Mullen, who's co-founder of Druid Theatre. So obviously Druid has always been a massive part of my life, going to shows with them. So theatre and the arts have been in my life, and the bug bit me really, and I always wanted to get into it in some capacity. I did acting for a bit just on the amateur scene. It just didn't work out. Then I just loved the whole background of how it all worked, how it all pieced together, the logistics and the scheduling, and seeing it from reading the script to getting it on the stage. I just loved that whole process. So that's kind of how it all started, I suppose.
Can you explain, because I don't know how to, especially in the area you're from and I are from, which is Meath, Cavan, Monaghan. The Amdram scene is so important, and I think a lot of people don't understand how important it is.
I grew up in Moyla, which is just outside Oldcastle in County Meath, North Meath. And Moyla Drama Society, it's the oldest Amdram society in Meath, I think I want to say. Like, it's over 100 years old. I think they did it maybe back in the 80s or early 90s. They did the circuit. Now they just run it in the local hall just for the local people, because as we know, everyone has a day job in Amdram, so it's a huge commitment. Then you're working on it for months. I think for me, you see the local butcher up on the stage playing the priest, people getting to see their regular, the postman or whatever, but then they're up there playing different characters. That used to be just brilliant. And obviously seeing my mother then up on stage and playing all these different characters and everything. Escapism, and they've just literally finished one. There was a farce called Mammy's Boy, and there'd been a lot of tragedy in our community. I think everyone just really needed a laugh, and it was so well supported. And again, that escapism. But yeah, the Amdram scene is, like, I haven't done the circuit myself, but here in Cavan, it's huge, and the drama festival was on in the town hall recently. It really is amazing, and it's so serious. They're serious people in a good way. That it really is amazing, especially with the drama festivals. You get to see so many amazing plays and the breadth of work that they do, and to the level of I say professionalism. It is very professional what they do, but especially in small communities, the camaraderie, and like, if you're not into sports, to have these outlets, you don't have to just be on the GA team, that there is other activities you can do in community areas. I think as well, for that, like, a lot of people, and not just on the stage, but like to be able to do set design or costume design and stage management and directing and lights and all of that. It, like, for me, it was my foundation, and it will always stand to me. For younger people who want to get into it, like, go down to your local Amdram, sign up, and more than welcome you, because it's very much a team effort and a voluntary kind of thing, but it's just a beautiful community.
You then went on to Dundalk IT?
I did Dundalk IT, yeah. So I wanted Galway, but I got Dundalk, and I was very upset. But everything happens for a reason, and Dundalk was where I was meant to be. So I did 3 years communications with creative multimedia. Basically, it was just covering every media, which was actually brilliant, because I got to dabble in radio, in theatre, in film, in journalism, in web and design, and then art as well was a big one too. So I got to kind of dabble in all those different mediums, and then at the end, then we had to build our own kind of multimedia project, and we did some short films. It was absolutely brilliant, and I loved Dundalk. It took a while. There are border towns. They don't welcome outsiders, but once you get in on the groove, it was brilliant. And then I did a year add-on, which was cultural management. So it gave us the tools to manage any cultural institutes, like an art centre or a library. So I did then the add-on degree with them in Dundalk. Then in my summer holidays, those 4 summers then is where I really cut my cloth, and 3 of them I worked with Druid as a runner, as a production assistant on Sive, Sharon's Grave, and then the first of their cycles, the Druid Sing cycle, where they did all 6 of John Millington Synge's works. So that was the first of their infamous cycles that they do. So that was incredible. And then I did 1 summer in Edinburgh, and I worked in the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. With C venues. I think it was £200 for 7 weeks work, where we turned these massive examination halls into theatre spaces, and slave labour when you think about it, but I was just loving every minute of it. Like, even to this day, I still revert back to that experience, just in terms of everything that I learned. It was 4 floors. It was open for like 17 hours a day. In the morning would be kids shows, and then we turn over, and then it'd be theatre, and then it'd be stand-up comedy, and then it'd be music gigs. And yeah, it was amazing. And we had to take it all down then. But like, I don't think that's even illegal now. What they were getting us to do. I think I got like a £200 check at the end of it. You're working stupid hours and all of that, but again, it really, really stood to me. So I was very lucky. I had all those experiences while in college as well, and that really gave me a great background. Working with Druid, being a runner, like, I got to work with everybody. I was working with Gary Hines, and I was working with the actors and all the amazing creative teams that they brought in for all those shows, and I was working with the office. So I got a great understanding of how a theatre operates and how a production operates. Working with the crew, it's a massive orchestration to put on a show. It was a brilliant experience.
Can you explain what exactly is a runner on a theatre show?
Basically, well, a runner does exactly what it says on the tin, really. You're running around. I loved it because no day was the same. Like, so during rehearsals, I'd be helping stage managers to source props for the show. I'd be helping, set up the green room for the actors, or set up the rehearsal room for the day. And then I'd be helping out maybe in the office if they needed like more scripts run, or they needed a hand with helping out with the program then, or helping out then with opening night and receptions for opening night. And then during tech week, like, that was just bananas, but my favorite time, because the lighting designer might go, no, I need different gels, so you'd run out and get gels, or or the costume designer needed something in pennies, and you run out to pennies. And so the director needed something. So you were running, but like running for everybody, and you were just learning so much. I was a sponge, just picking it all up. But for someone who loves theatre, but are going, where will I fit, or where do I think I like the best, then it's a really, but I would say, like, obviously pick a company that you really love their work, and then hound them a little bit and say, if you can offer up your services for free, because as we all know, money is tight. But like, if you're, or even if they can pay for your expenses, if you're obviously in a financial position to do that. But even, I think Tech Week is like, the kind of holy grail in terms of how everything comes together. So even if you were to ask to be part of their Tech Week or Tech Days, and you get to kind of really sense, like, what the director does, what the lighting designer, what the set designer, the costume designer, how the actors are like going from the rehearsal room then onto the stage, and they've seen the model box and now they're in the model box and they're going, wow, this is like, okay, everything it's coming together. So it's amazing just to see how everyone tries to put the jigsaw piece together. So if theatre companies were willing, and I think so many theatre companies are really open to nurture the people coming up and all of that. I would suggest that. I think I kind of fell into being a producer. My official professional job was administration. I was administrator with John Scott's Irish Modern Dance Theatre. So that was my first proper arts job, if you like, where I got decently paid and not £200 after 10 weeks. I really loved that whole administrative side of it. And the financial side of it as well, and running budgets and sorting out contracts and scheduling. And then I was general manager with John. I moved to London then. I was in London for 10 years. I worked with a children's production company. We did In the Night Garden, Iggle Piggle and Upsy Daisy, if you know them. I worked with their live show, which was bananas. It was a massive white giant inflatable caterpillar that we brought to car parks around the UK. Like, we started off in the massive car park in the O2 in London. It was incredible. So I was kind of the on-site manager. So I was kind of the link from on-site to they had offices based in London. So I was kind of training in volunteers and box office staff and ushers, paying the actors. So I kind of just got these administrative roles or finance managerial roles, that kind of all accumulated to being a producer. I guess a producer then is all those things. And then working very closely with the artistic director in terms of what their vision is and making that vision happen in whatever that is, if it's a theatre piece, a dance piece, a festival. Working very, very closely with the artistic director or the chief executive, with the board and with the committee. You deal with the financials, the scheduling, the contracts, kind of the whole administrative side, I would kind of loosely say. That's really a gigantic definition of it.
I think that a lot of people hear the word producer, especially in different art forms like theatre, film. They're different things. They don't actually know what it is. And I think as well, and correct me if I'm wrong, Amy, but like on every production, it's probably slightly different but similar.
Absolutely, yeah. The needs might be different. For example, I'm producer with Livin Dred, and we've just finished the Playboy of the Western World. With cast and creatives and crew, that was nearly 20 people. So obviously, depending on how big the show is or how big the company is and all of that, I would help out with the marketing as well, because Livin Dred has an artistic director and 2 producers. Depending on what other resources are at hand, a producer mightn't have to do the whole marketing side, or depending on what, I suppose, company you're in, what other resources are at hand, then it's kind of like you just muck in and do whatever needs to be done to get the show, because the show must go on. The show must go on. It's doing all the background stuff. It's letting the artistic director be the artistic director in terms of doing all the creative, in terms of casting, directing, picking a script or picking the creatives to work with. That's their remit. I would then help out with doing the contracts or linking in with agents, linking in with like the website and the marketing elements of it, and then paying wages and per diems and sorting out accommodation and the tour end of it. Obviously, we will work together then in terms of Arts Council applications and budgets and all those lovely things. More the background stuff and not so much the creative, even though like Aaron Monaghan is our amazing artistic director of Livin Dred, and he's very collaborative. I'm thinking of this person for this role. What do you think? Like, he would very much bring me in and let me be part of the creative side too, which is lovely, that it's not all numbers and figures, which is really generous and which I love.
If there was any differences you noticed working in London when you left and then when you came back to working in Ireland?
Yeah, I was in London for 10 years. I had visited a couple of times and loved the buzz, and always said I'd love to work on the West End or with the big dogs. But my hope was always to go over to London, try and pick up some experience, and corny and all as this sound, but like to pick up good experience from these amazing people and bring it back and hopefully infuse it into an Irish company here. Because definitely when I was leaving the role of a producer or administrator, you just did it with everything else. A lot of theatre companies, like artistic directors, they were doing all of the producing as well as doing the creative side. They didn't separate out, and they're very different roles. It's hard to be super creative and then trying to do all the administrative side of things, and it's very rare for someone to be brilliant at both. They don't really come hand in hand. That was definitely one thing I wanted to leave and hopefully come back and try and enrich that a bit more. But yeah, when I went over, I didn't get work in the arts for about a year and a half. I worked in a pensions company. It nearly killed me. It was temp work, so I was getting a load of money. So I was literally going to shows every night and every weekend. So I got to see everything. I literally went to everything, and it was brilliant because that's part of your training. You have to get out there and see the art. It's all good and well to work in it, but you have to get out and see it and be inspired. It was amazing. And I went to every festival. I got to go to Glastonbury and saw the Rolling Stones and Arctic Monkeys. And yeah, it was insane. Like, I was so fortunate. I got to see so much stuff. Even though I was working in a pensions company, I was like living my best life in terms of I was seeing everything I wanted to see. It was right there at my fingertips. So I worked then with the Minor Entertainment who did Iggle Piggle and Upsy Daisy. Then I worked with the Royal Opera House in Covent Garden then for 5 years. I started off as a PA to the technical director and then worked my way up then to technical administration manager. It was co-managing the crew on the main stage of the Royal Opera House. So that was about 150 permanent crew and then about 200 casuals. Like, it was like grand scale, like you wouldn't believe. Like, the backstage of the Royal Opera House is like an airport hangar, and they have these gigantic sets that cost £1 million. They have this, it's kind of like a Tetris floor. It kind of lowers down so you can then move one set off. You can move like an opera set off and then put on a ballet set for the next night and alternate them. It was amazing working with the best of the best and just seeing the grand scale. It really doesn't get much bigger. Like, I'd never worked in opera before. I used to go to a lot of the ballet, all the Christopher Wheeldon and Wayne McGregor's pieces, and then working like with Bob Crowley, the designer. He designed a lot of Christopher Wheeldon stuff. So as Devlin, Carlos Acosta, and Francesca Hayward, and all these amazing people. And they'd be just in the canteen. You'd be just like having a sausage roll, and there they'd be beside you, and just really down to earth, lovely people. The divas were more the ones down the pecking order who wanted to be, the principals or whatever. But like the principals were just so lovely, like Edward Watson. It was like amazing. The Royal Orchestra and then the Royal Chorus, and you get to just walk around that building and all of this art was going on when their costume department was over this whole huge floor. And then they had a massive warehouse then in Wales where they stored all their costumes, and then they had another massive warehouse outside of London where they built all the sets. It was incredible, but yeah, all merciful amount of work. I was only thinking about it today because I obviously was doing this, and I was just thinking back, and I met my husband Jimmy there, so that was a win. I got a husband out of that, so that's good. It's pinch me moments, the people that came through that building that we were there, and then I would help organise the cruise then for the BAFTA Awards, where were there when I was working. They're now in Royal Albert Hall, but the BAFTAs were there and the Olivier Awards were there. So I was organising all the crews for that. Yeah, that was mad, and got to meet some very nice people. I met Leonardo DiCaprio, so it's okay. I can die now. I can die. It was amazing. And Kate Blanchett, probably the most beautiful woman in the world. She just floats around. She literally just floats around, and these cheekbones, like, I've never seen anything like literally jaw dropping. And, you know, I'm not that way inclined, but Jesus, she'd turn anyone. And it's only now when I'm saying it aloud that you go, oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, and that happened. When you're so immersed in it, you're kind of going, you don't really get to, I suppose, reflect. It was amazing. Again, such hard work. And I have amazing friends from working there, because we all worked so hard. And like every day as well, the Royal Orchestra would be rehearsing when they'd be on the tannoy, and you'd be just listening to this live orchestra every day. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, just turn that off. I'm trying to focus. And you kind of forget, no, but this is live music just happening, just there. And it's like unreal, because I listen to a lot of lyric now, and I love Marty in the morning, and every now and again he'd put on some of the Royal Orchestra's stuff, and I'm going, God, like, I used to just listen to that every day. Incredible, but it just became all immersive, and I was there 24/7. I had to step back, but all on good terms and everything. I was an office manager then in a marketing company for a few years, because I got married, and I just wanted to get back to watching and going to see art, because I was so engrossed in the opera house that the thoughts of going home and getting ready to go out and go see a gig or go to a festival or whatever, I was like, no. And that's not me. I didn't want it to, kill my love of the arts. So I had to kind of step back, because I was too engrossed and too immersed. Yes, took a step back a bit. And but London is just, I just do miss it, because I could just leave any night and go, I want to see a really good comedian. I really want to see an amazing piece of dance. I want to go to an exhibition right now, or I want to eat Colombian food now. Everything is there at the ready. An amazing city, best city in the world, hands down. I know New York, people say New York, but no, London, hands down, just incredible city. Yeah, it gave me a lot.
And then obviously you guys came back. How was that? Because that was during COVID as well.
Yeah. I had a baby girl literally 2 weeks before COVID, so, which was, thank God. And so we were in this tiny flat in Muswell Hill in North London, and we were first time parents, and then COVID hit, because we thought my parents will be over and our friends will come in and they'll help us rear the child, and then it was just us and a child in a tiny flat. But it was the best thing ever, like, because the two of us had all this time to be with her at this these precious time. But I know everyone gives out about COVID, but we had a great time, because we were there at those informative first year of our first child. So it was amazing, and both of us were there. But yeah, we came home then in the December of 2020. For me, it took a while, because obviously when you move abroad, it takes you a year or whatever to switch out of Irish life and into your new life and get into the groove of that. You're in the London groove or wherever you are, and then coming home to recalibrate and rewire your brain to go back into Irish life again. It took me a couple of years, I'll be honest. And whereas my husband, who's a Londoner and never really lived anywhere else, he lived in Stratford for maybe a year, but he never lived anywhere else, and I was really worried. And he slotted in, no bother. He took to it like a duck to water, and he loved it. So it took a while, but I wouldn't change it for the world. And living here in Cavan and just seeing the art scene here and just seeing how welcomed we were was really amazing. The art scene here is thriving, and there's great people here. We're blessed to have 2 theatre spaces in the town hall and the Rammer Art Centre, run by the incredible Pádraig McIntyre, who's a force. We have the Cavan Arts Festival, and then we have Livin Dred, and she's retired now, but we had Katrina O'Reilly, the the arts officer who's been there for years, and again, just a stalwart of this art scene here, and again, an amazing support to all artists. And that's the thing, Jimmy, my husband, he's a blow-in. I'm a blow-in too. I'm from Oldcastle. I'm a Meath woman, but just being very open to outsiders, and like just the nature here with the lakes and the forest, it's an inspiring place too. We're really, really lucky, and it's open to the arts, and there's support there, whether that be financial, whether that be the mighty Park McIntyre giving you a studio space for a day or two in kind, or whatever that might be, and people are open to chat, and the support in every aspect, I think, is it's really amazing.
I will neither neither declare nor deny that Cavan is the best county, because my mother will kill me, but my father would be so happy. He would be so proud. As a mother working in the arts, and your husband works in the arts, how do you guys juggle it?
Well, thankfully, I've got an amazing family. Like, my mother and father are down the road. They're an amazing support, and we've got amazing friends as well, like your good self, Niamh McPhillips. We're very lucky that we're all about calendars, and if it's not on the calendar, then I'm sorry, it's not happening. It's just not happening. It's like, if a job comes in, we're like straight to the calendar, put it on. And so then if anyone rings us on a job or whatever, we're straight to the calendar. Sorry, can't. Jimmy is doing this, or I'm doing that. So it is a juggling match for sure. We try not to be working at the same time, and then obviously if it is work that we both really want to do, and it's obviously going to be beneficial, and there's a lot of money in it, money as well, because we have to feed the children, put clothes on them, then my parents or glorious friends step in then. I've got a brother down in Offaly as well. It's a lot of juggling, but I think that's just part and parcel of it, us being our own bosses, and being in control. And I suppose we've chosen this. This is how it goes. I know, like, when I speak to some of my friends and they're like, I just don't know how you do it. Like, they just love the consistency, or not the mundaneness, but like just the regularness of, you get up on a Monday, you go in at 9, you clock out at 5, you have your weekends. They're like, what do you mean you have to work on a Saturday? What do you mean you have to do something this day? What do you mean you have to do something at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night? It's kind of alien to them, going, well, this is just our world. Like, it is, irregular hours, but we have control of it. And more often than not, we try and pick the jobs that we love. So if we are away from our children or whatever, it's worth it, not only for ourselves, but for them, in terms of then we can, go on a nice holiday or whatever. But it's the balancing act, but we chose it. So, we just get on with it, I suppose, in the nicest possible way, But it's, we're very lucky. We're a good team, myself and my husband. So we make it work. We make it work.
And have you noticed, because obviously being a producer and dealing with everything, it's come up a bit before in the podcast in terms of like childcare allowances, or how that might work, if you've noticed anything?
I know there was talk of it, and I think it was more kind of, and I don't know if in Screen Ireland or they were trying to implement a funding stream, I think, for, I think it was Screen Ireland. It was one of those. But yeah, absolutely. But because I was working for a local company doing like their accounts and stuff, and payroll, full time. So Jimmy was the full time carer, and he applied for I think it was the Pavilion. They had like a residency, and he got to put on that, like, as other costs, childcare costs, because he was the main carer, because I was in a full-time job. So yeah, there was an option there. I'm pretty sure it was the pavilion. They were doing like a week's residency, and he put like other costs, and there was an option there. So it seems to be coming into fruition a bit, but I think definitely there needs to be more on it. For sure. I suppose with me, I get on with it, but like I'd love the support. But yeah, I suppose I'm kind of not one to kind of complain or just get on with it kind of thing. But at the same time, Jesus, I'll bite your hand off if you want to give me some money to support childcare. But yeah, definitely, for sure. And I think as well, they can go hand in hand. It can work, because I know some people go, no, I'm going to focus on my career and then whatever, so I think they can. And then there's so many great companies then who support it, like Livin Dred, and you can bring your child in like at break time during rehearsal and stuff. And it's a family affair, literally, so yeah, actually, you have me thinking now, and I think definitely it should be more. It should be an option.
Would you have any advice to give to maybe someone who's interested in backstage producing, dipping their toe into it, or maybe advice for your younger self?
If you have a local Amdram like down the road, or sign up with them, because again with Amdram as well, you'll get thrown in and you'll get to do a bit of all. Do you know what I mean? So you'll get to see the different aspects again if you're not too sure, or if you have a theatre company that you really love and they're taking you on for a bit of work experience, then approach them, write to them, or even just go to them in person, and do that. Advice for my younger self, like I was lucky because that's what I did, and that's how I got into it. I think I think because then I guess because I was a production assistant and a runner and that, like, then I got to dabble in all the different areas and go, actually, no, I think, yeah, I don't think I'd be good at sound design, or no, light design isn't for me. Do you know what I mean? So it was all of that. Yeah.
You're currently working with the wonderful Cavan Arts Festival, which I can gladly say is the best festival in the world. I am not biased whatsoever.
It is, though. She's talking the truth. Yeah. Gospel. It's gospel, lads. I joined them last year, so for the 2024 festival, and I had gone to it the year previous when I had moved to Cavan, and I had heard great things, and I had met with Kim McCafferty, who's the amazing artistic director, creative director of the festival, who she set it up with her amazing committee. So it's very much voluntary based. This will be its eighth year. Yes, I think I've got that right. Yeah, it is 8. Yeah. Their 8th year this year. But it's gone from strength to strength to strength. And yeah, it's predominantly voluntary based. Any money they get, they give it to the artist involved. So it's Kim running it, head honcho, and then it's a committee then. So I'm on the committee of amazing, amazing people like Colin McQuillan and Joe Keenan and Connor Harrington and Julianne Collins and Chloe McGuire, and Spud is there, and Derry, and it's just a joyous group of people that I love meeting every Tuesday evening with, whether it's online or we meet in the town hall, and we just try and get this festival going. And it's just, these are people who love the arts and want to bring the best people to Cavan town and entertain its people. And a lot of our events are free, and it's it's running from the 15th to the 18th of May this year, Thursday to a Sunday. So the Thursday and the Friday are usually evening events in the town hall. And then the Saturday and Sunday, the majority of activity, we'll have all day activities running in Consmith Park, which is just outside Cavan Town. And we have 2 big tops there. And we'll have just a plethora of stuff. So starting off with like Kyle Riley, who's the amazing kids entertainer. And then we have amazing street performers. And we will have all like amazing local groups, and there's amazing food vendors. It just goes on and on and on. And then each evening, then we'll be moving over to the town hall for then amazing music, amazing comedy, amazing other things that I can't share with you just yet, but it's all really, really exciting. Like last year we had in Consmith Park each day. And again, people say, oh, you were blessed with the weather. I know the weather was good, but also the program was fan-flippantastic too. That was a big part. But we had gorgeous, but there was over 1,000 people came each day to the parks. Again, yeah, it's building and building, and it's a really joyous, fun festival, very open, and yeah, and we've amazing volunteers who run it with us as well during the festival too. So I guess as well, with the fact that it being so voluntary based, we get just all these people who love the arts and just love being immersed in it. And we have amazing talks as well. Yeah, it's just, and I'm just trying to as well, like, last year we did like a whole new music stage, and we had like local bands come and perform in the big top. And it's that thing as well of highlighting local talent as well, and giving them their moment to shine. So yeah, so that's Cavan Arts Festival in a nutshell. But yeah, it's just, we've amazing art as well, and we've amazing art exhibitions. So like there's every amount of art form you could think of. We cater for everybody's needs.
Can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. If there was anything you would like to see the government do to help the arts in Ireland, and any funding or program, you have a magic wand?
That's a big question. Well, definitely, I think to kind of give more focus, when people are putting in for applications in regards to more administrative and producer support, that whoever the funding body may be, it doesn't think, should that'll just get done by, the creative person or whatever, or it's kind of, the elves will come in at midnight and they'll just go and get that done. It's not. So I think more to kind of, just more awareness to producers and to administrative people that, our arts administration, creatives do need that support, whether it be on the administrative side of things or on the financial side of things. And that's more recognised, I suppose, and that, when you're putting it down in your applications, it's not, that it's valued, I suppose, and it's not something that'll just get done. I suppose I think that's kind of I have found that's kind of been the mentality down through the years, and that so then companies they're lacking then on the whole administrative financial side of things, because the money they get is solely on the creative, and the money has to go towards the actual production, the wages for the actors, the set design, the lighting, whatever. And then the administrative side gets kind of put to the side. And that has to go in tangent. Like they go hand in hand. And something that is well run administratively, and that's the thing. Like, for example, if I didn't do my job well, then people wouldn't get paid, then people wouldn't work correctly, or they'd or it would create a bad environment then because, they haven't got paid, so they're not going to work, or they're not going to work as well, or they're not going to work until they get paid. Do you know what I mean? So it all has a knock-on effect. So I suppose, it's just being mindful of that, we're administrators, and we are creative. We're very creative with numbers, and we're very creative with scheduling and stuff. But we're important as well, and just that is valued.
I think that makes perfect sense, and is something that really isn't talked about, or as you said, it's just not considered or put to the side, and it's a really important part of the art.
Or if you're going, like when I'm scheduling the tours and making sure everyone has really nice accommodation, or or it's not like half-arsed, or that people get paid their per diems on time, and that like I touch base with them all, and that they know what trains or buses, or do they have a lift to go on to the next place, so that all of that, so that they arrive then to do their show on time, they're checked into a nice hotel, they don't have to worry about anything else, just about the show, all of, and it's not like they're sweating, they're stressing, and they're this kind, like it's all part and parcel of making everyone happy, and being creative with no stresses or strains.
Thank you very, very much.
My pleasure. Thank you for listening to me.